Hello everyone, boys, girls, people of all ages. I welcome you all to the finale of the Fruit of Grisaia. The finale of Sachi's story here in the Fruit of Grisaia. My name is Michael SK and I'll be taking you all on a fantastic journey through this finale. Wow, what an intro that was. I don't tend to do my intros like that, but I felt like I should try something a little different. And obviously that came out as just really weird. But yes, guys, the finale of Sachi's story, a finale of this playthrough. So it'll say like finale or finale like number 1 or something like that in the title, but rest assured, there is more Fruit of Grisaia to come in the later days. I don't know when I'll get back to this, but I do need a break after this. What a ride it has been. Going just so far with this game, not giving it a break. Just the story is fantastic and I'm enjoying every bit of it, especially with Sachi here. Has a fantastic story, keeping me enticed for sure. And I hope that she's keeping you all enticed as well. But every story does come to an end, and we'll be ending her story tonight. And if you guys didn't know, and you probably don't even know, today is still the 23rd, and if you look at the date on our previous save right there, that is also the 23rd. Earlier today, I did record 4 previous episodes, so hopefully those will be up before this one. If they aren't, then I've got a lot of issues, but hopefully all is well there. Usually is, and this will be coming out, I don't even know how long after those episodes, but this is it. This is going to be the finale, probably an hour long. I think that's how much more of this we've got. So let's jump into it. I really don't have anything else to say. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm really nervous. I am really nervous to go into this because what a story hit has been, and part of me doesn't want it to end, but I know every story does come to an end, and I really have no idea which story I'm going to go with next. I don't know, just a lot on my mind with this, and I think I'm just overthinking things. Let's just get back into it. We're in Nightmares. So, serious tone. Not really sure where we exactly left off, because we're kind of like in the middle of dialogue, but that's alright. We'll just jump right back in. I forgot to say, guys, just thank you very much for all the support with this playthrough. I mean, 150 plus episodes is a lot. And the reason why I've got so many of these episodes and I've continued to do this for you guys is because one of my jobs, or one of the things I like doing as a YouTuber, as a hobby overall, is just to entertain. Like that's what I like to do. I like to entertain. So this is a great way for me to do that, and I hope I've kept you guys entertained with my terrible commentary and just what this game could actually provide. So I thank you guys so much for all the support. And I ask one last time for a while with this playthrough, if you like the playthrough, if you like everything that I've put out for you guys, I ask that you leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this, guys. The finale of Sachi's route. Sachi, are you really alright with that? Are you really satisfied with this? Tortured by nightmares, living every day in terror of your mother's words? Caught off guard by my challenge to the status quo, Sachi casts her eyes down in bewilderment. She can't find the words, but the answer's written on her face. Of course I don't want to see the nightmares, but there's nothing I can do. Personally, I don't think there's any reason you need to be tied down by the past any longer. Oops, whatever. That's right. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to tell you a way to get rid of those nightmares that are giving you so much trouble. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. What? You don't believe me, or you don't believe what I'm telling you?
私が過去に縛られる必要がないってゆうくんが考えているだけでもびっくりなのに、悪夢の解決方法を教えるだなんて。
It's just surprising. Guess it might be hard for you to believe, having lived with that guilt for so long. That said, I really don't think you need to drag it around anymore, and I'm not lying about knowing a way out.
じゃあ本当にそんな方法が。
That's right. There's only one thing for you to do about these nightmares. Kill the source. Well, that was different. The 23rd. And we're back in Sachi's mode, her perspective. So this is gonna be great. To end my persistent nightmares, I need to only kill the source. 5 days after Yukun spoke those words to me, I've arrived in the town where I spent the earliest years of my life. I'm here to pay a visit to my mother, sleeping even now in the local hospital. In this, as in so many other things, I was guided by Yukun's advice. Oh no. She's... no, she's gonna do something really bad. There's only one thing for you to do about these nightmares. Kill the source. I was gonna say, didn't we just go through this? That's right. Your sin won't be forgiven. It's just not possible. So if you want to free yourself from this guilt, you've got no choice but to eliminate its source. That's up to you. Yuji, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I'm telling you to kill. That's it. You've got plenty of options. And there's more than one answer here. I can't make that decision for you. You have to do this yourself. Presented with this new problem, I began with a serious consideration of the word kill. Interpreting it literally, he was telling me to deprive someone of their life, to cause death. From there, I could find only two plausible answers. The first, as had immediately occurred to me, was to kill my mother. The second was to kill myself, to end my own life. But even now, I'm not confident that I correctly identified the options of which Yukun spoke. I'm not used to these like honorifics or the what is said at the end of people's names. Sorry, kind of got me there. Yukun spoke. True, killing my mother might put an end to my fear of her final question, and if I die, I'll no longer even be capable of suffering or feeling guilt. But fundamentally, I can't help feeling that the act of killing itself is a very extreme way of approaching these problems. Killing my mother would make me a criminal, and killing myself would mean leaving this world behind. In either case, of course, I could no longer be with Yukun. If these were the answers he wanted me to find, was Yukun lying when he said that he loved me? My thoughts ran in circles. Before I knew it, 5 days had flown by, and I was no closer to an answer. In the end, Yukun was unable to hold his silence. No matter what decision you're going to make, you should see your mother first. I think you're capable of that now, Sachi. It's only been a few hours since he spoke those words. Okay. First off, it's a good thing that we're not going there to literally kill her. The moment I heard his proposal, my heart thudded heavily in my breast. Since the day of the accident, my mother has never spoken, my bad, never opened her eyes. She's been reduced to a living symbol of my indelible sin. And if Mom really does resent me, she might not even want to see my face. These very thoughts have kept me from visiting her for many years now. Not to say that the visits I paid her in those first few weeks were worthy of the name. Since that horrible day, I've never once managed to spend any real time with her. Perhaps Uncle Akihiro understood how I felt. He didn't challenge me on the matter, or even encourage me to make the trip. In that case, there was no real reason for me to visit that hospital, or so I allowed myself to believe. In truth, I've just been making up selfish excuses. I was running away from my own mother. That neglect is proof enough that I never really overcame my guilt toward her. I was simply hiding from it. As long as I permit myself that cowardice, it may well be impossible to find a meaningful answer to my current dilemma. And so I resolved to face up to what I had refused to acknowledge for so long. Of course, speaking the question out loud doesn't get me any closer to an answer. Yukun's always 3 or 4 steps ahead of me. thinking on a far higher level. This puzzle must have meaning, and I want very badly to reach the answer he found. But even so, I must admit I find myself disturbed. Merely speaking the word kill leaves me a bitter aftertaste on my tongue and a sharp ache in my
だ
stomach.
からってこんなところで音を上げていられない。私はまだお母さんに会うことすらできていないのだから。すみません。面会をお願いしたいのですが。
This is gonna get crazy, guys.
はい、それではこちらにお名前とご住所をお願いします。
I remember a while ago I was saying that, you know, with the Amine route, it's just gonna be an emotional roller coaster ride, train ride, all of the above. But with Sachi's story, it's been all of the above as well. After filling out some paperwork at the nurse station, I'm provided with directions to my mother's sickbed. The procedure hasn't changed. Neither has mom's hospital room. Everything is exactly the same it was on that day. At one point, a nurse I recognize from my time here calls out to me. "Is that you, Sachan? Will you be all right alone, dear?" I answer with a polite yes, I'll be fine, and proceed down the hallway without breaking my stride. But when I finally arrive in front of my mother's hospital room, my breath catches in my throat. And with that as a signal, my previously functional legs abruptly turn to clumsy, leaden stumps. My head begins to throb violently. Why didn't Yuji come with her? It's been many years now. Maybe it won't hurt like it did back then. I was a fool to believe such nonsense for even a moment. My body knows that something painful waits behind that door, and it's not shy about registering its objections. Mom's anguished, bloodied face flashes unbidden before my eyes. Before I know it, I've begun to hyperventilate. Yeah, I really think Yuji should have gone with her. Gradually, even standing grows perilously difficult, and I find myself leaning heavily against the corridor wall.
ちょっとさっちゃん、大丈
はい、大丈夫ですから。
夫？わかったわ。でも無理だと思ったらすぐに人を呼んでね。
I think if it gets too much, you won't be able to call for anyone.
ありがとうございます。
But that's just me. Apparently sensing something of the desperation I feel from my expression on my face, the nurse kindly withdraws. To tell the truth, I don't even remember what I said to her just now. Just keeping myself conscious is taking every ounce of effort I can muster.
大丈夫。大丈夫だから。
Trying very hard to convince myself of that, I forcefully throw open the door to the room, letting the momentum carry me stumbling inside. We're gonna see a scene of her? If we are, dude, I'm gonna throw the fuck up. I feel like it's just gonna be too much for me. Instantly, my eyes find my mother's face peeking out from above the sterile white sheet covering her lower body. But the person sleeping in that bed is utterly unlike the mom who remains so clearly in my memories. Her cheeks are thin to the point of I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry. Emaciation? Sure, why not? The color of her skin is as pale and waxy as that of a corpse. Ah, shit. And yet seeing her transform like this brings back, with astonishing clarity, the awful moment when I was first guided into the intensive care unit. The first time I saw what had become of her. She lay there in a nest of unfamiliar machines. A huge oxygen mask covered her mouth. Her body was pierced with IV needles. Medical tubing connected her to strange electronic equipment. And even as the machines hissed and clicked around her, my mother simply lay there, so still, it seemed she'd been transformed to stone. When I saw her there, I remember feeling the same way I do now. She isn't the mom I knew anymore, and she never will be again. Ah, fuck. That was kind of weird. That was really weird. Can this game stop being scary? This game's not a horror game. It's not October yet. The words echo forcefully through my head, as though someone's drilled a hole in my skull and whispered them directly into my brain. Cold sweat seeps from my forehead. My stomach begins to contract spasmodically, with an ominous creaking growl. Jesus Christ, she's literally breaking down and decomposing. There's a familiar sensation of warmth draining steadily from my body. It's the same chill that usually accompanies the onset of my flashbacks. Tears roll in neat lines down my face, so cold I expect them to freeze against my cheeks. And some terrible memories from when I had to read about her past. That ended terribly. That kind of made me feel really uneasy for a few days. It's fortunate that I didn't eat anything before this trip. Had I chosen to stop for lunch, I'd likely be vomiting it up right about now. That was the usual conclusion in my visits. In the old days, I would empty my stomach, a nurse would come running up, and that would be that. But today is different. Today, no one ushered me in here. I came here of my own free will, resolved to face this. Yuka told me I should see my mother. That advice was an implicit affirmation, sure, why not, of his trust in me. He believes that I'm capable of this visit. I can't give up now. It's simply not an option. I've come this far to put an end to my nightmares. I won't allow myself to turn back. Clinging with all the stubborn determination I can muster to that simple decision, I somehow managed to hold myself together through the worst of it. And eventually, through an enormous effort of will, I'm able to shakily lower myself into the folding chair that sits at the side of the bed. Oh man. Wait, what happened to her oxygen mask and all the tubes and shit? Did they just get lazy and not use it? Whatever. I don't want to ask too many questions. I thought we were going to see her all hooked up and shit. That shit just really freaks me out. I don't like it. I will never like that shit. How many hours have passed since I collapsed into this chair? It feels like only moments ago, but the sun's already sinking low into the sky. The unlightened rooms illuminated by a warm orange glow from the window behind me. Now that I think more carefully, it must have taken nearly an entire hour to calm myself to the point where I could gaze at my mom's face like this. But it's been many hours since then, and I've gone no further. No words, no movement. I've spent the entire afternoon. I don't know why I include words like that. I've spent the afternoon glued to this chair like a statue. I'm finally able to visit my mother. I can finally look her in the face again. There should be so many things to say, so many things to tell her, to ask her. But now that I'm actually gazing down on her lined, impassive face, the words have betrayed me. They've melted into thin air, leaving no trace by which I might find them. At long last, I'm able to speak a single word. Is it a greeting or a half-spoken question? I'm not sure myself. There is, of course, no response. Mom's in a deep coma because of the traumatic damage her brain sustained in that traffic accident. She hasn't answered a question, or even spoken a word, in many years now. My mother's doctor once said that the odds of her regaining consciousness were lower than my chances of hitting the jackpot in a national lottery. In other words, barring a miracle, she'll live out the rest of her days like this. This is her life now, incapable of movement, let alone feeding herself, kept alive of the whims of others like a potted plant. This is the life I gave to my own mother. And the more we think about this, the more we'll die. And the more we'll hear this stupid ass sound and the fucking like just very faintly, man. Very faintly, and it's annoying. It freaks me out. With that thought, the nausea that had subsided earlier swells up in me once more. Damn, we were doing pretty good for a while. The suffering comes to me in unpredictable waves, with all the random malevolence of a curse. Weary and numb, I observe my own pain with a curious sense of detachment, and I reach my first real conclusion of the day.
くんが言いたかったのはそういうことだったのかもしれない。
By visiting my mother for the first time in many years, by directly facing my guilt in its most raw and undiluted form, he wanted to make me realize this, that so long as I live, I'll never simply be released from this suffering. My father's dead, my mother's sleeping, and she's never going to wake up. That's reality. This status quo isn't going to abruptly change for the better. All my guilt, all my attempts at atonement, no matter how sincere, they can never overturn what's come to pass. Perhaps Yukun simply wanted me to recognize anew how truly crushing the weight of my sin really is.
あの日の事故で私も死んでしまっていたんだ。
The answer isn't so complicated after all. Mom's the fountain of this guilt, and I'm the vessel that willingly accepts it. We're mutual culprits in these nightmares. So long as the two of us continue to cooperate, my suffering will go on indefinitely. In that case, What? Oh my god. This is probably where I should have ended the last session. That would have been the perfect cliffhanger, but I didn't know about this. So... fuck. These are really our only two choices, huh? The reason why I keep going like this is because like my frame rate drops to like literally 1 if I don't, and I'm worried about my recording. So I have to kill myself, or I have to kill Mom. Hold up, we have to save it. This is too much. All right. So if Sachi kills herself, I'm pretty much like, that's the end of it. Like, there's no more. Sachi's done. Like, that's the end of the story. And I feel like there's also, like, there's a good and a bad ending, and that's what it really seems like here. Because if we kill ourselves, if we kill Sachi, that's it. That's it. Yuji has killed off, like, one of the main characters, and that's probably not a good thing. Speaking, you know, in that kind of sense. But it's not really a good thing either for Sachi to kill her own mother. But it's... if she kills herself, she's pretty much just given up. If she kills her mother, she's trying to live. Oh man, this is tough, dude. There's a lot of thought that can go into this. And I feel like whichever one I choose is going to make me feel like an absolute dick. In some sort of way. But it feels as if... I feel like Yuji is also behind this and also like having her do this. I feel like Yuji wants her to kill her own mother. Just to completely end it, to completely erase any little bits of pain that she may feel, any sort of guilt. Just end it. There should be nothing else that causes her any guilt, knowing that her mother is still alive, but like that, I feel like with her being dead, maybe it would alleviate it. I don't know. Like, then she would also be the cause of her death. So I don't really know. I mean, fuck. But Yuji wouldn't want her to kill herself. I'm gonna go with I have to kill Mom. I'm gonna have to go with that because it wouldn't make any sense for Yuji to come up with some sort of shit like this, only for her to decide I have to kill myself. I think like her reason, like his reasoning to bring her here was so that she would have to realize what she would, you know, on her own, that she would have to, you know, completely get rid of her own mother. I think that's the deal here. I'm gonna go with that.
お母さんを殺すしかないのかな。
I feel like the other one is a bad ending and this is the good ending. I don't want to do bad endings. If at all possible, I'll avoid those. If you want to see a bad ending, go somewhere else or play the game yourself. I know bad endings are just terrible. I've played Everlasting Summer. Mom's the source of my suffering. After leaving me that terrifying final question, she spent years in constant sleep, little more than a living reminder of that tragedy. At the very least, her death would put an end to the pain even now racking my body. An end to my fear of her words. And if I want to be liberated from my nightmares, this may be the only means remaining to me. I'm a weak person. I doubt there is a more selfish coward anywhere on the face of the earth. In order to protect myself from the unendurable guilt, I lied to myself for many years. I made the world simple and tried to erase who I was. But I can't tell myself that lie anymore. I can't betray Yukun, who went so very far to make me realize my mistake. In that case, I've got no choice but to find a new way to run from the past. Namely, killing my mother, which just doesn't seem right, but killing myself is just way worse. Maybe Mom's suffering in her own right, being kept alive in such a miserable state. Maybe she'd be happier going up to heaven, where Dad's waiting for her, where she'll never have to see my face again. As soon as the idea crosses my mind, nauseatingly convenient excuses pop up one after the other. I'm a terrible daughter. Even after all the suffering my selfishness caused my parents, all I'm thinking about is how to make life easier for myself. Is there even blood running through my veins? Perhaps it would actually be for the best if I was branded a criminal and sent off to jail. Yes, a real prison, where I could spend the entire life atoning for my crimes. Whatever people may say, I'm afraid Mihama Academy is hardly suitable for the purpose. The days I spent there were very special to me. Michiru-sama, Maki-chan, Amane-san, Sakaki-san, and Principal Tachibana. Everyone I met there was a truly kind-hearted person, and above all else, it was the place where I reunited with Yukun. The place where he made me his girlfriend, where he told me that he loved me. It was all far more than I deserved. This will put an end to all that, to my unfair, unwarranted happiness. Therefore,
ごめんなさい、お母さん。
with the same words I always cry when escaping my nightmares, I reach out and put my hands on my mother's neck.
ねえサチ、今日は何が食べたい？サチったらまたそんなわがままを言って。すごいじゃないサチ、テストで100点を取ってくるなんて、お母さん鼻が高いわ。
そんなのできるわけないよ。だって私はお母さんが大好きだった。優しくて温かくて笑顔が素敵なお母さんが好きだった。いつも笑顔にあふれていて笑い声が絶えないあの家が大好きだった。だからどんなにお父さんとお母さんが私のことを嫌いになっても、どんなに私のことを恨んでいるとしても、私はお父さんとお母さんのことを恨めない。嫌いになんかなれない。だからこの手でお母さんを殺すなんてこと絶対にできない。
As I speak, Mom's face flashes before my eyes again and again. Her slightly embarrassed smile when someone said dinner was delicious. That proud grin when I told her about winning an art contest at school. the excited, happy expression she always had when talking about work with Dad. And many more, far too many to count, all as clear as day. The faces of the person I loved more than anyone else in this world. And oddly enough, the next word to leave my mouth is the same one that's been tormenting me all this time.
どうして
Once the floodgates open, the words don't stop. One after the other, the feelings I've kept locked inside flow uncontrollably out of my
ど
mouth.
うして急に冷たくなったの？どうして仕事ばかりするようになっちゃったの？どうしてお前のことが嫌いだってはっきり言ってくれなかったの？そう言ってくれれば私にも何かできたかもしれないのに。それなのにどうしてあの日だけは私に優しくしてくれたの？あの日もいつもと同じだったらあんな事故が起こることもなかった。そうでしょ？それなのにどうしてあの日だけなの？答えてよ、お母さん。ねえ、お母さん。
It's like she actually speaks, and this the weirdest moment in the entire game. Freaks me out, freaks Sachi out, freaks even the people making the game out. I call out to my mother again and again, but no response is forthcoming. Her sleep is undisturbed. That's the nature of a persistent vegetable state. This is reality. I'll never hear her answer. I suppose I'm gonna have to accept that. Accept it, and find a way to carry on. If I can't run away, I have to move forward.
怖い。今日見る夢ではどうしての次があるんじゃないか。その次に続く言葉は私を責める言葉なんじゃないかって。だからその悪夢を終わらせるつもりでここへ来たはずなのに結局何もできなかった。私には殺すことなんてできない。事故があった後は全然お母さんに会っていなかったのに、夢に出てくるお母さんはとても怖い顔をしていたはずなのに、こうしてお母さんを目の前にしたら笑っているお母さんの顔が浮かんでくるの。いっぱい幸せで、私が大好きだったお母さんの笑顔ばかりなんだもん。そんなお母さんを殺すことなんて私にできるわけないよ。だからごめんなさい、ゆうくん。
For what? I knew he was just gonna like come in all random. Alright, we're back in Yuji mode. I think there was only 3 times there that we've actually, gone to Sachi's perspective, which is interesting for sure. You've got nothing to apologize for, Sachi. You did fine. As Sachi kneels on the I don't know what kind of floor that is. I move quietly to stand at her side.
ゆうくん。
Like, I expected Yuji to just come out of absolutely nowhere, like maybe through the window, maybe like through the doorway, listening to all of this, just waiting for that one moment to come in. But I just felt like, it'd be too noticeable, And then again, through the window, that just makes no sense. I don't know much about your parents, but I think I have a pretty good idea of just how much you cared about them. When we talked in the park back then, you were always telling me stories about your mom and dad. Even after we reunited in Mihama, you brought up your parents many times, more than you realize, I think. You love them very much, and you still do. That much was obvious. And that's the exact reason why you've been so afraid, why you've suffered so much. That's exactly why you've never been able to shake your guilt over causing that accident. It's the same with the final words your mother left you. You're tortured most of all by the thought that she might have hated you, that your parents might have resented you for what happened to them. So in the end, what you really want is to know your parents' feelings. Am I wrong?
そうなのかもしれません。
Just say I'm right. In that case, why not find out? Find out exactly what your beloved parents really thought of you, with your own eyes.
そんなのできるはずありません。だってお父さんはもうこの世にいない。それにお母さんだってこうして眠ったままなんです。だからどんなに叫んでも私の声はもう二人には届かない。そんな状態で気持ちを確かめる方法なんて。
What if I told you that it is possible?
いくらゆうくんでもそんなことできるわけが。
Have I ever lied to you before, Sachi?
それは
Here's the thing. I don't know what you're going to find. For all I know, you might end up learning something you'll wish you hadn't. You might end up going through life bearing an even heavier burden than before. Are you prepared to take that risk and learn the truth?
私
He's talking about the workstation, the not the garage, but the fuck, I don't know what it is. Oh well. Sachi squeezes her eyelids shut, breaking off in mid-sentence. For a long moment, she contemplates the question. And when they snap open again, the anxiety and uncertainty in her eyes has been replaced with firm
お
determination.
父さんとお母さんの気持ちが知りたいです。こうして今のお母さんに会うことでその覚悟はできました。だからその結果がどうであっても全てを受け入れるつもりです。
I see. I could never manage to do the same myself. You really are a hell of a lot tougher than you look, Sachi. Damn. Take my hand then. Wait. So Yuji's intentions were never to have her kill her own mother, but to consider it only to find out that she can't, and then come to this moment. There could have been the opportunity, the possibility that Sachi would have killed herself. Or would have that been debunked as well? Is there only like one true ending? Just like a different like way you would... No, then she wouldn't have learned about... I don't know. Whatever. Take my hand then. I'll show you what you really need to kill.
本当に殺してほしかったもの。
That's right. And no matter what answer you find in the place we're going next, I'll be your ally. You said you believe in me. Well, the feeling's mutual. I know you can do this. And if you can find an answer that's too painful for one person to bear, I'll share the burden with you. I'll be there. That's not changing, no matter what.
ゆうくん
Alright, I'm done. Want to go destroy the culprit behind your nightmares?
はい。
Damn! Leaving the hospital behind, I set off toward the residential district, Sachi at my side.
ゆうくんはどこに向かっているのでしょうか。
That's a surprise. You'll find out when we get there.
そうですか。
I intentionally give Sachi a pretty pompous, whatever that word is, non-answer. But she doesn't take the bait. She's probably too concerned with the whereabouts of the truth I promised her to play along like she usually would. In an attempt to slightly ease Sachi's anxiety, I reach out and take her hand in mine.
ゆうくん。
This help a little?
はい。ありがとうございます。
I can help Sachi see her mistakes. I can offer her reassurance and affection. But if she's gonna be saved outright, that's not enough. Her parents need to step in. As for how they really felt about her, even Sachi, who spent many years with them, doesn't know. So maybe this is a little presumptuous of me. But personally, I don't think any parents loved this much by their daughter could possibly hate her in return.
ゆうくんが向かっていたのはやっぱり私の家だったんですね。
As I come to a halt before the small house, Sachi finally allows herself to state the obvious. To be more exact, we're headed to the workshop next door. That's what it was called. It was a workshop.
工場ですか。 あそこには金型を作る機械が置かれているだけなはずですけど。
That a fact? All I've heard from Sachi's uncle is that her parents seem to be up to something in the workshop a little before her birthday. But hidden in those words lies the answer Sachi's seeking. I'm pretty firmly convinced of that.
そうだったのかって。それじゃどうして工場なんかに。
Sachi. Her mother's final question. Why? Now that the woman's in a coma, we'll probably never know for sure how she intended to finish that sentence. But if a parent who'd been planning something for her daughter's birthday wanted to say one thing at the end, I think it might have been something like this.
サチ、どうしてもサチに見てもらいたいものがあったの。
What? The answer you've been seeking should be waiting in here.
私の求めた答え。
If you're ready to face it, open this door. With those words, I take the aged metal key out of my pocket and unlock the workshop. It's your decision whether to take that step. You can lock this door and walk away. And no matter what you choose, my feelings aren't going to change.
ゆうくん。
So don't worry about me or anyone else. One way or another, you need to put an end to this with your own two hands.
はい。
Nodding with a serious expression on her face, Sachi slowly closes her eyes. There's probably a whole torrent of conflicted feelings swirling around in her head right now. Terror that she'll discover proof her parents resented her. Hope that she'll learn the opposite was true. I can almost see the tug of war between those powerful emotions shaking the small girl's heart. Even so, Sachi's capable of accepting the truth now. Whatever it may be. I absolutely believe that.
決めました。私はこの扉を開きます。
Damn right you're gonna open this door. We've been through so much, man. With that declaration, Sachi opens her eyes and stares firmly at the entrance to the workshop. You sure about that?
はい。おかしいですよね。そう決めたはずなのに、体の震えが止まらないんです。
Sachi.
でも逃げるつもりはありません。だからほんの少しだけ私に力を貸してください。
Yeah. As Sachi's hand trembles against the cold iron, I reach out and overlap it with mine. We take 2 long, simultaneous breaths, then push open the heavy door. Here we go. Here we go, guys. This is it.
何これ。
Her voice full of surprise, Sachi slowly advances inside. With every step, her eyes grow wider, full of confusion at the scene before her
あれ
eyes.
だけあった機械が全部なくなってる。それにこれは。
What? The workshop's not entirely empty. One wall is covered with dusty party decorations. A carefully arranged flock of photographs and certificates crowd the space, contrasting strongly with the dull gray wall behind.
誕生日おめでとう。サチ。
Most eye-catching of all is the large hand-lettered banner above. Sachi slowly reads the words aloud. September 23rd. Today's your birthday, right? From what I hear, you haven't been to this place even once since the day of that accident.
どうしてユウくんがそのことを。
Truth is, after you wrote that letter mentioning me, I had the chance to talk with your uncle over the phone. I asked about your parents' disinterest, and he told me about this place. He didn't know the details, but it seemed as though your parents had been up to something here in the weeks before your birthday. He also told me that you had no idea about any of this.
それでユウくんは私をここに。
To be honest, I was tempted to drag you over right away. But I knew that wasn't going to cut it. As long as you kept hiding from your mother, the person you transformed into a symbol of your guilt, you couldn't possibly face up to the past in any meaningful way. Unless you were prepared to accept anything, you'd be able to interpret whatever we found here as part of your warped
だ
narrative.
から一度お母さんに会うべきだってそう言ってくれたんですね。
Yeah. You needed to be a blank slate, so to speak. Given a piece of paper filled to the margins with thick black letters, you have to erase before you can write something new.
そんなことまで考えていたなんて。
You really are amazing, Yukun. Your parents are the amazing ones here. As I speak, I run my eyes carefully along the painstakingly decorated wall. Getting all those machines removed without you realizing would have been hard enough. And these decorations are all handmade. It must have taken them days. I must have wanted very badly to surprise you, to make you happy.
そうなんでしょうか。
I didn't want you to kill your mother. Not the woman sleeping in that hospital bed, at least. That accident was too much for a child to process. Too terrifying, too painful. Thanks to that overwhelming tragedy, you were imprinted with a hollow false image. An image of two people who resented you and wanted you to suffer. A hateful illusion you mistook for your parents. That's what you needed to kill. So we were way off on the kill yourself. That might have actually been bad. I don't know, if there are two endings, a good and a bad, that might have been a bad ending right there. Narrowly avoided that one. In this place, time stopped on that day. Here's the reality. Your real mom and dad's feelings, preserved in amber.
お父さんとお母さんの
Repeating my words absent-mindedly, Sachi gently reaches out to touch the decorations on the wall.
サチが初めてテストで100点を取った。算数が得意なところは私に似たのかもしれない。
父の日のプレゼントにサチが私の絵を描いてくれた。嬉しくて涙が出た。一生の宝物にしよう。
サチはキャッチボールが好きらしい。将来はソフトボールの選手になるかもしれないなんてお父さんと語り合った。
運動会の父兄参加二人三脚で私がサチの足を引っ張ってしまった。明日からジョギングを始めようか。
私に倣ってサチが初めて作った卵焼き。塩を入れすぎて塩辛かったはずなのにお父さんは嬉しそうに食べていた。
サチが苦手だった国語で100点を取ったテストが見つかった。ちゃんと褒めてあげられればよかった。
Along with a series of photographs chronicling the first decade of Sachi's life, the walls packed with tests, paintings, and prize certificates. And on every single one, there's a note from her parents spelling out their feelings. They're the simple, earnest sentences of two people watching over their growing child with unabashed pride and affection. It's nothing less than a crystallization of pure parental
ず
love.
っと昔に描いた絵もお父さんとお母さんには見せずにいたテストももしかして全部取っておいてくれたの。仕事が忙しいからって相手にしてくれないこともあったのにこんなにたくさんの写真も全部それにあれだけたくさんあったはずの機械だってどこに
After all this time, her parents' feelings are finally laid bare. After all those years believing mom and dad hated me, what Sachi's found here is completely incompatible with that long-standing delusion. She's so bewildered, you can practically see the question marks floating over her head. Dropping her eyes from the wall of memories, Sachi finally notices the small wooden object sitting on a table on the far side of the room.
これってお父さんとお母さんが大事にしていたオルゴール。それにこの手紙は
Curious? Might as well read it. The envelope, discolored by its long exposure to the sun, still bears the faint letters, to Sachi. Seems they left her an answer after all. Sachi carefully opens the envelope, takes out the letter she finds inside, and begins to read it out loud.
サチへまずは 10歳の誕生日おめでとう。本当はこの言葉も直接伝えた方がいいと思うんだけど、最近サチとはうまく話せていなかったから手紙を書くことにしました。この手紙に私とお父さんが伝えたいことを一生懸命書いたので、
最後まで読んでくれると嬉しいです。それで私たちがまず初めに言わせてほしかったこと、それはたくさんのごめんなさいです。お仕事が忙しくなって一緒に遊んであげられる時間がなくなってしまったこと、サチの頑張りをそばで見ていてあげることができなかったこと、一人でご飯を食べてもらうことが多くなってしまったこと、そのことを謝らせてください。本当にごめんなさい、サチ。でも決してサチのことが嫌いになったわけじゃない。そのことだけは分かってほしいの。私たちがもっとお仕事を頑張ればサチを幸せにしてあげられる、そう思ったんです。だからお仕事が忙しくなってお金が手元に残るようになった時、私とお父さんは喜びました。これでサチにたくさんおいしいものを食べさせてあげられる、もっとお洋服も買ってあげられるって。でもサチが教えてくれたこと、一人でステーキを食べるより機械の音が聞こえないお家でみんな一緒にカレーが食べたい、その言葉で私たちの考えが間違っていたことに気づかされました。私たちに必要だったのはお金じゃなかったんだって。だから私とお父さんは話し合って一緒にお仕事を変えることにしました。大好きなサチともっとたくさんの時間を過ごせるように、あの家でみんながまた笑って過ごせるように。それを次のサチの誕生日プレゼントにしよう、そう思ったの。でも私たちが好きだったこの工場がずっとサチに嫌われたままなのは悲しい。そう思ってこの工場をサチが好きになってくれるような場所にしよう、そう考えました。その答えがこの
アルバムです。機械のなくなったこの工場はこれから幸せになっていく私たち家族の思い出を飾る記録室。世界中どこを探してもここにしかないたった一つのアルバムです。だからこれからここにたくさんの思い出を増やしていきましょう。それこそこの工場の中に収まらないくらいたくさん。それでサチが笑顔になってくれれば私たちはとても嬉しいです。サチが楽しそうに笑ってくれていること、それが私たちにとって一番の幸せなんだもの。そのことがこの手紙で少しでも伝わってくれると嬉しいです。それからこのオルゴールも私たちからのプレゼントとしてサチに贈ります。サチも今日で10歳だからそろそろ好きな人ができてもおかしくない。私の勘だと公園で一緒に遊んでくれているっていうゆうくんが第一候補かなと思っているんだけど違ったかしら。でもその子に限らずサチにとって本当に大切な人ができた時、その人とこのオルゴールを聴いてください。そうすればサチが素敵だと言ってくれたメロディーが幸せを運んできてくれるかもしれません。そしてその人とたくさんの恋愛をして結婚をしたら 私とお父さんに負けないくらい幸せな家庭を作ってください。なんて、それはちょっと気が早すぎたかもしれないけれど、サチの未来が幸せであるように、ずっと笑っていられるように、それがサチに幸せという名前をつけた私たちの願いです。少し長くなってしまったけれど、私たちがサチに伝えたかったことはこれで全部です。そして最後にもう一つだけ、愛してるはまだ難しいかもしれないから、この言葉で私たちの子供に生まれてきてくれてありがとう、サチ。
Wow. That was an incredible letter read right there.
私の方こそありがとう、お母さん、お父さん。
Sachi has the same answer she's been yearning to find since her childhood. Or has the answer. I'm reading wrong. I stand quietly at her side as the tears flow in streams down her cheeks. I can't say for sure how it felt to read that letter. That's something only Sachi herself will ever know. But there is one thing I can say with some confidence. She won't be suffering from those nightmares again. Because right now, the words spilling from her mouth aren't "I'm sorry," but "thank you." And while I might just be a completely deluded, narcissistic moron, I'm pretty sure I also know what the next words of her mouth are going to be.
私、たった今、ゆうくんにお願いができました。
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Oh? And what would that be?
私と一緒にこのオルゴールを聴いてもらえますか？
I guess I should have expected that. Yeah, I think I can do that.
昨日は体育の授業があって、久しぶりにみんなでエクストリームスポーツをやったの。
And we're back! Well, at least I want to make sure that we're back, so I'm going to stop and restart the recording.
昨日は体育の
Alright,
授業
yeah,
が
yeah,
あって
okay, we're officially back here.
久しぶりにみん
Or
な
at
で
least I
エクス
think
ト
we
リーム
are.
スポーツをやったの。
This game is just so weirdly made and just visual novels and their fucking frame rate and shit. But I guess we have ourselves a little bit of an epilogue here. So, I would first like to apologize, but there are no credits that are going to be shown here. It's just going to be an absolute skip, as I'm pretty sure you guys will have already seen in the editing, or post-editing, or the final video, whatever. Thing is that I can't really play a full, like, legitimate song in any of my videos without the possibility of getting some sort of claim. And a claim, yes, it takes off monetization, but it can also, you know, take off availability of the video in certain areas, on certain platforms. It's just too risky, so I'm completely skipping the credits. But if I can find a video that has the credits, I will link it below and you guys can watch it. It is very nice. It is very nice. People, I think some people said in my comments that it's a very nice song and everything, and you know, I might just be imagining things, but yeah, very nice song. Whoever said it, if anyone did say it, you were right. Credits were kind of long. I was just anxious the entire time. I'm just like, this isn't recording. For some reason, that shit does not record. The intro didn't record. And I guess the credits didn't record. And I kind of speculated that. I felt like, you know, the credits were not going to record. I guess it wasn't a total loss because I could not have the credits there unless I spoke very loudly and consistently the entire time to block out the actual music. But what fun is in that? So if you guys want to see the credits, I'll try to find something. If I can't, then yeah, there won't be a link below. But if I can, there will definitely be a link below to some credits. So yeah, we have ourselves a bit of an epilogue here. So here we go.
エクストリームスポーツっていうのは、ゆうくんが命名したスポーツの名前で、私が打ったボールをマキちゃんがワンバウンドでキャッチして、二塁に向かって走っていたみちる様に投げつけたの。
Are we speaking with
そしたら、
Mother?
マキちゃんは肩が弱いからバウンドボールになっちゃったんだけど、 平らな地面でつまずいちゃったみちる様がヘッドスライディングしたところにそのボールが乗っかって見事にアウト。私はその間に一塁へ走ってセーフだったんだけど、みちる様もまきちゃんもすごいよね。
The hospital room is filled with the warm glow of afternoon sunlight. As a gentle breeze blows in through the open window, Sachi chatters on, recounting the recent happenings at Mihama Academy. Unlike before, there's no trace of melancholy, whatever that word is, in her expression. Of course, that doesn't mean her mother's offering any reply. Even so, her sleeping face looks strangely peaceful. Somehow, it makes me think of a parent affectionately half listening to her daughter's stories while doing housework.
小峰さん、失礼しますね。
Thought that was her mother. I was like, no, she can't be alive or awake. Whatever.
あら、さっちゃん。今日も来てくれてたのね。
The one-sided conversation is interrupted by the arrival of a familiar nurse, who immediately greets the two of us.
はい、これから検温の時間ですか？
その通りなんだけど、すぐに終わるから、そのままで大丈夫よ。
あ、いえ、ちょうどキリが良かったですから、私たちはここで。
そう？それならいいんだけど。はい。
Still smiling, Sachi slowly rises from her seat. I follow suit, pushing myself up off my undersized folding chair.
また来るね、お母さん。
As she speaks, Sachi gently squeezes her mother's hand.
それではすみませんが、母のことよろしくお願いします。
ええ。さっちゃんも勉強頑張ってね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
After exchanging polite little nods with the nurse, we quietly leave the hospital room. You really alright with that?
何がですか？
Wrapping up the visit so quickly?
はい、今日はこれでおしまいです。
Sachi seems to have grasped what I'm getting at, but her reply is strangely casual in tone. Didn't you have more you wanted to talk about?
それはもちろんです。
So why didn't you stay a little longer like the nurse suggested?
あんまり長話をしてお母さんを困らせたくないですから。
What?
私がお母さんに話さなければいけないことはたくさんあります。今までお見舞いに来られなかった間に私が経験したこと、美浜学園でのことやゆうくんとのこと、それを一度にたくさん聞かされるのはお母さんも大変だと思うんです。
Let's just say yes. Guess you've got a point.
だからたくさん病院に通って少しずつお話ししていきたいんです。
There's no guilt or bitterness in Sachi's eyes as she speaks those words. They're the shining eyes of a child talking about a beloved parent. I see. Fine. You've convinced me.
ありがとうございます。それよりゆうくんの方こそ私との約束を忘れていませんよね。
Oh, now that you mention it, something about reverting to childhood and spending the whole day playing in the park, wasn't it?
はい。
Oh yeah, that date. Fuck.
見てください、ゆうくん。誰もいません。私たちの貸し切りです。
The moment she realizes the playground's empty, Sachi takes off at a gallop, practically floating off the ground with excitement. Today, the two of us are playing in the park where we first met until Sachi's thoroughly satisfied. This is what she chose for her belated birthday
ブ
present.
ランコに鉄棒、シーソーにジャングルジム。これは今から日付が変わるまでの時間をフルに使ってもこの公園を満喫しきれないかもしれません。
How are you keeping a straight face right
も
now?
ちろん真面目な話をしています。
As my birthday present to you, I'll accept any one request unconditionally, no matter how spoiled or selfish it may be. From the moment I made my offer, Sachi's been eagerly anticipating this day. I knew the girl never really lost her fundamental love for playing around outside, but it seems all those years of self-denial may have amplified her enthusiasm. You seriously want to go straight through midnight? In some ways, that might be harder than your average ranger training course.
ゆうくんはどんなわがままでも聞いてくれると言っていましたよね。
Yeah, that's what I said, but we can try to be a little more realistic. Human beings do have their limits.
それならその限界までで構いません。さあ、まずはブランコから始めましょう。
Even as she speaks, Sachi's yanking impatiently on my arm. You're not listening to a word I say, are you? I may be grumbling, but for some mysterious reason, there's a smile on my face. This is how it's been lately. We eat our meals together, we talk about nothing in particular, and end up laughing. Every once in a while, she pulls me around like this. Hackneyed whatever stuff. The sort of thing I used to read about in cheap love stories. Maybe the happiness I wanted to help Sachi find was something as simple as that. Even after visiting that workshop, neither Sachi nor I believe that we've come to understand everything your mother and father were thinking. The feelings of two parents cut down by an accident in the middle of searching for their distraught child. That's probably something you can't fully understand until you have a family and children of your own. But there's one thing that's clear. The two of them wanted her to find happiness even greater than their own. In a way, that bittersweet knowledge will be Sachi's punishment from now on. A family, huh? At the rate this relationship is going, the two of us might end up married. Maybe even have children of our own at some point. Kind of bizarre in a way. I wouldn't have been capable of imagining such a future just a few short months ago. But right now it seems completely natural. Even obvious. And if Sachi feels the same way, I don't think anything can make me happier. Hey Sachi, I've got a suggestion to make, if you're willing to listen.
やっぱり公園で遊ぶのを中止するという相談なら受け付けませんよ。
There's that selfishness, but I love it. Yeah, that's not it. What do you think about getting married after we graduate from Mihama?
結婚ですか？
Yeah, even if I ended up quitting my current job somewhere down the line, I'm confident I'll be able to feed the two of us. And I want you with me for the rest of my life, Sachi.
ということは私、今プロポーズをされているんですよね。
It's that half-assed proposal that I'm willing to do IRL. I guess so.
なるほどです。確かに結婚すれば美浜学園を卒業してもゆうくんと一緒にいられますし、それはとても魅力的な提案です。
Nodding to herself, Sachi slowly closes her eyes. Guess it's decided then.
いえ、お断りします。
What? Say what? Thrown off balance by this 180-degree reversal from her initial reaction, I do a bit of a double take.
だって私より靴を飛ばせるようになったところをまだ見せてもらっていませんから。
Damn, dude, she fooled us. It was just a prank, just a social experiment. The mid-afternoon sun blazing down as if to insist summer's not over yet is thoroughly outshone by a single dazzling smile. That smile belongs to a girl named Komane Sachi, the only child of two people who treasured her above all else, the daughter of two parents who exchanged their ambitions for one simple wish. And today, I'm sure the two of them know that wish has been wholeheartedly inherited. Because the woman I love has found a smile so befitting of the name her parents gave her. And that shoe ain't mine. Or at least I don't think it is. And there we go. And we have like a little extras page, but I think as soon as I open that, I'm going to get a bunch of hentais, so I'll save that for the end. But guys, what a fantastic story. And I was actually starting to say this during the credits, but then I realized that I didn't see my Dxtory shit in the upper left. My FPS and all that. Saying that I am recording, which is the same shit I had to deal with in the intro. So it's really weird how this game was designed, but keep in mind this is a port, I think from the PSP or PS Vita in Japan, so obviously not going to be the best game to record, but what a story, guys. This has been an incredible journey. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed every bit of it. I tried to be really sentimental and just like had that emotional tone when Sachi was going through that dilemma halfway through this episode or session. It's got to be one episode. It's got to be. I was trying to make this just a really good episode for you guys to watch, and I hope you guys really enjoyed just pretty much this entire playthrough. What an adventure it has been. It's going to be really weird stopping this for a while, and it's going to be extra weird jumping to a different story. So that's why I made those save points, those saves at the different, the choices, because that's what really ignites the stories. Now, I kind of actually did that for each selection we had, or each choice, just in case. But now we'll absolutely have, like, great areas where we can, you know, start off and choose where we want to go next. Except for shit, who else? Michiru and Sakaki. I think Sakaki starts automatically, so if I choose to go with Sakaki, I mean, that one will be pretty easy to just go for. But I don't know who I'll go with next. I'll save that as a mystery. Maybe think about it over my little break from this game, which I really need, guys. I've been non-stop with this game for months, so I need a little bit of a break, and I'll eventually continue this. And if I don't, sorry, I guess. I don't know what else to say. You know, if I'm not having fun with the game, then why would I record it? It's my motto. As much as I want to entertain you guys, you know, I'm not gonna play trash or something that I don't want to play. That's why you really don't see the soccer games on here. I don't want to play them, and they're trash. It's not I'm saying that this is trash. It's just there might, you know, come up saying like, hey, I don't want to play this. Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, let's check out that extras page. We have a CG gallery, the H scene replay. They actually have that. A scene replay, a music gallery, and a movie gallery. And secret. What is secret? A system voice download, wallpaper and icon download. Well, you won't be seeing me download those icons or the wallpaper because I don't know why I would want a wallpaper of this game on my computer. Like, I'm sorry. I want something a little bit more like not females on my screen. I'm sorry. That's really cool how they have that implemented. Music gallery. This is really cool. That's another thing about this. I should actually state, you know, my true feelings for this game in every little bit. This is a very stunning game. The art, fantastic. The story, fantastic. The music, really great. I can't wait to hear the other ending themes, the ending songs for the credits for each story. Because that was a really good song that they chose for Sachi's end. Really great song. But just the music in general for this game is really good. When it's an emotional scene, it does get emotional with the music. So, I don't know. Just, I feel like this game is just overall fantastic. Except for the length. Length is ridiculous. If the length was cut down, I would say there's no problems with this game. This game is fantastic. So, once again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'm not going to go to the CG gallery or the scene replay. I mean, there's really, or the H scene replay, fuck that. There's really nothing there for us that we have not seen. So, next time, whenever that time comes, we will be doing another story. With a more fantastic story, I'm sure. I bet there's another fantastic story out there. Maybe even better than what we just went through. Probably a bigger roller coaster ride full of emotions. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect, but I look forward to it, especially with you guys. So thank you very much for watching, boys and girls. What a fun time this has been. Fantastic game from what I've seen so far. We've got 4 more stories to go down. But I could say I can make my final verdict. Fantastic game. If I had to rate it, I'd say 9 out of 10. But definitely the best VN that I've played so far. I am yet to see something better. But then again, I've only played a few, so this is where I'll end it, guys. What an outro this was. And what a game this was. What a playthrough this has been. But I look forward to seeing you guys in the hopefully not so distant future with this game. I look forward to continuing this with you guys. My name is Michael SK, and this has been The Fruit of Grisaia, Sachi story, as well as the common route. I didn't really do an ending for that, so common route and Sachi story ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys, hopefully, in the not so distant future.